Hey brother, welcome to day 22 of following as we follow Jesus through these 40 days. I want to remind you of where we're headed in our basic outline. We started out that a disciple needs to behold Jesus, then to be with Jesus. Now we want to take a big chunk about a disciple wants to obey Jesus, and we'll finish off with the disciple walks with Jesus. What comes to your mind? What's your first reaction when you're called to obedience? On the one hand, over here, many of us feel like we've been caught or arrested, or that obedience means restriction, that it means compliance, and that we will lose something of our desires if we actually obey. On the other hand, on the other far side of this, on the other end of the spectrum, obedience brings clarity. And it brings freedom, and it makes us feel alive. On this side, we feel shamed, we feel defensive, we often even feel rebellious. And over here, we feel a sense of relief and reward and joy. I want to try to bring these two things together, because when we are called to obedience, we ought to be feeling a very good sense of our own identity and also our own destiny. If you were in Ironworks recently, I told you the story about how when I was a young boy, 9 or 10 years old, my mom wanted me to take piano lessons. And since my sisters were taking lessons and my mother was musical and we had a musical household, I complied and I started taking lessons, but they were on a Saturday morning. And so I not only had to go to lessons for myself, but I had to wait through 2 lessons as my sisters also got the same piano lessons. And I was just full of energy, you know, a 10 or 11-year-old boy. I want to be outside, and it's on a Saturday morning when all the cowboy shows are on. And I just thought, oh, if I could just be out there, be free to run and do my stuff that I wanted to do. But I felt like, well, my destiny, what my mother wants for me, what people say is best for me, what will be good for me is to take piano lessons. So I had to deny my identity in order to fulfill my destiny. Well, finally, my mom saw that I wasn't enjoying that very much, and she said, you know, you're really not having your heart in this, are you? And I said no, and she didn't have to ask me twice. I bolted for the door and gave up piano lessons. But in doing so, I felt like, okay, I've given up something that was noble and good and true in order to pursue my identity. Well, this is a little story that didn't really change my life all that much. But it brings to mind this fact that many Christians believe that to live out one's destiny, in other words, their obedience to Christ, their calling in life, the thing that is right and good for them, in order to live out their destiny, they have to give up their identity, and that is their gifts, their skills, their joys. But in Christ, as we lay down a foundation here for being an obedient disciple, I want to share with you that Jesus wants our identity and our destiny to come together in the joy of obeying him. Because he says in John 10, I have come to give you life. And that life is a true life. It's abundant life. It's a rewarding life. It's an obedient life, but it's also the life that will fulfill you the most in your identity. So hang on for the ride and watch these next videos as we lay down some track about what it means to obey and how our destiny and our identity are brought together in obedience. So today, as you obey, recognize that you are doing not only what is right, but you're doing what fulfills you the most. Let's walk with him today. God bless you.